Hi, everyone. This is Kathy Mamolen. I'm a psychic medium and intuitive life and love coach. And I just got back from vacation. And for those of you that know me personally and been following my channel for a while, I have a huge deck collection of over 400 tarot cards and oracle decks. And I'm a very avid reader. And I thought that what I would do for you is share the books that I read over my vacation. And I'm going to ask the cards today for a review. So let's get started. Let's see what these books. This is a combination of my two worlds combined. I hope you enjoy this. If you enjoy to read, please let me know in the comments below things that you're reading. But I love to connect my two worlds. So let's get started. Let's see what we have today. Book that I read was The Enchantment of Ravens by Margaret Robertson. Rogerson. I mispronounced that. I apologize. The Enchantment of Ravens. Now, this is a fantasy book and kind of a fae world, fairy tale world, just an escape from what my world is normally. Okay. So I love that. And what I've done is I've gone through all of my decks, my huge tarot collection as a psychic, and I picked a deck that when I was reading this book, what deck resonated with me the most. And I have this little deck. It's a mini edition of Forest Creatures Tarot. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit of a card pull here, and I'm going to ask the cards for some, I don't know, a little bit of information about the story and what Spirit wants to share with me for what I got out of the book. Obviously, I read books for a reason. There's always a reason for these journeys. So let's just see what Spirit has for us. Let's see what Spirit wants to share with me about this book. So I did enjoy this book. It was very easy to read. It was a very quick read for me. It was a lot of fun. I read a lot of different things. I don't have any kind of one genre that I like to read. I will read anything. I read probably 10 books a month at least. So it is something that I do all the time. I have a death card. I have an Ace of Wands. I have a Ten of Cups. The Six of Cups. Seven of Wands. A King of Pentacles. Queen of Swords. And I have a Hanged Man. Beautiful. Okay, so this is a journey about a mortal and a fairy. And she's an artist. She's a portrait artist. And she is very talented. And people come from all over, and they come from, I'm going to say centuries of, years and years, I guess. There's no sense of time in this particular story. And they come to her for her gift. Her gift is that she's very talented, that she is able to make these, beautiful portraits of these fairies, and it brings them from their enchanted world into this kind of the mortal world. So it's beautiful. So along comes Rook, R-O-O-K, is his name, and he is the Autumn King. And she does a portrait for him. And you know what? It doesn't go as well as he would like. I have a death card. Something has to change. In the eyes of the portrait, he's not happy. Okay, so he kind of says, you know what? You're going to the fairy court. And on goes this journey of this fairy court. Okay, and she's going to be held accountable for this portrait. So let me tell you, this journey was amazing because a couple of things happened along the way. Things that weren't expected. Okay, I have a Ten of Cups. So along the way came all of this emotion out of the woodwork. All right, they kind of cared for each other. They trusted each other. They became friends. They had to make it through this forest journey together, and they had to connect and be available for each other. Now, my Queen of Swords is she wasn't ever going to give up. She wasn't going to give up on her talent. She wasn't going to give up on her getting back home again, getting back to her family, her sister, her nieces and nephews, I guess it was. And she wasn't ever going to give up. So she was a queen in this. Now, my Rook was very dominating. I mean, he was king of the autumn fairies, king of he was the autumn prince apparently. So it's a sense of, you know what, he was in control, he was a true king, he was in charge, and he wasn't expecting to fall for this mortal, you know, like there's all kinds of charms. I mean, it is kind of a romance. It is a you know, I'm falling for you, you know, underneath, you know, these two different worlds coming together. So it's kind of interesting with that. They have to take care of each other with the Six of Cups. They have to each give in, is how I feel. Okay, they had to, you know, give into their norms, what was normal in the past, in this connection to get through this wars, through this journey, all that they had to get through, they had to help each other. Okay. Now there's a sense of kind of the hanged man with this constant feeling of, I feel like I'm crossing the line. Like I'm not supposed to be interested in this person. I'm not supposed to want to be with this person. And this constant sense of, you know, kind of pausing my feelings, waiting, seeing what I'm feeling. So kind of interesting in that respect. But I will tell you, Isabel, my artist, never gives up. She is an amazing warrior. I mean, perseverant. She fights. She gets in there. She doesn't give up, and she doesn't have the powers that Rook has. But you know what? She's got the determination, and that's my Seven of Wands. So this was an incredible journey. I mean, it's a very simple little love story. You know, they have this kind of passion that they have built for each other with my ace. So they built this passion, this kind of secret, you know, fantasy world passion. And it was just a charming book. And as I'm reading it, I'm thinking, oh my God, this really reminds me so much of the Forest Creatures Tarot. So I love that. So I would encourage you to pick up this book. I think it's cute, it's charming, and I really enjoyed reading it. I want to thank Spirit for this reading. The book that I read on my vacation this summer was The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. Now, this was an amazing book. First of all, it is a big book. I think it's 600 pages. Let me just say, I mean, it's huge, 722 pages. So it's not for the faint of heart as far as if you're not an avid reader. It did take me a little bit, even, and I read every day a lot. So, but it was an incredible fantasy journey. And as I was reading it, I associated over and over again this book with a tarot deck from my collection that I just said, oh my God, this is so in alignment with the Hush Tarot. And the Hush Tarot has a kind of autumn feel to it. It has this kind of, I don't know, warm tones, wash, woodsy, fall feeling to it. So the whole time I was reading this story, I was like, this is connecting me to this deck. Now, this is the journey of my character's name is Kayoff, I guess, Kvothe. And it's a journey of his life, and it's a story of these challenges that he goes through from really a teenager all the way through his adult life. And it's a story told in his from his perspective, like kind of going back in time and sharing his story. So let's see what the cards say. Let's ask the cards for some information about The Name of the Wind. This was an incredible book. I mean, it really was. So the Hush Tarot is what I'm connecting it to. let's see if we can share a little bit without giving away. I don't want to give away the whole story. I just want to give you kind of a sense of what this book gave me. So if I can ask the cards, please, Spirit, for some direction. I have the Four of Pentacles. I have a Queen of Swords. I have a Knight of Swords. I have the Moon. I have a Lover's card. I have the World. I have a Five of Cups. And I have a Five of Swords. So let me tell you, this is an incredible journey that this person, Kayaf, was on. And it starts out with this sense of no matter what, he wasn't going to give up. I mean, he is a warrior through and through with my knight. I mean, he is determined, decisive, logical. He goes through this journey of his main mission in life is to get himself through this academic school. And a big part of the challenges that he faces are going through this school and achieving these goals. So he has it in his head that he is not going to give up. He is going to do whatever it takes, whatever battles that he has ahead of him. So I love that. Now he has this incredible sense of poverty, which is my Four of Pentacles, the sense of always trying to put himself, come up with money. Okay. So his parents were executed at a very young age, and he had to struggle and he had to piece it together, and he scrimped and he saved and he lived in the woods and he lived on the streets, and he did all kinds of things to overcome these financial obligations. So he always had this sense of guarding his money and knowing exactly what it would take for him to pay for the next semester of tuition, or he only had one shirt or one pair of shoes, or, so there was always these financial challenges that he had, which was incredible. Now, he did fight. I mean, my Five of Swords is a sense of constant battle. He was always battling with somebody. He had another student at the school that was really an arch enemy, and the battles there were incredible. Not only physical battles, but psychological and emotional kind of torture, torment for this man, young man in his journey. So constant battle, constantly kind of always being on guard, always kind of ready to move forward, like if he had to protect himself. So that I definitely know. Now, he is a queen, so he was really confident in his skills over time. He knew he was smart. He was able to prove how smart he was. He had this sense of, I can, he was a very young person to get accepted at the university, and he was a very rare, gifted person, and the professors saw it in him, but he knew he was going to be better than the other students. He just wanted a chance. He wanted a chance to get in there and study and to learn. So he knew he was a queen in his heart, and nothing was going to hold him back. Now, there's this sense of fear throughout this journey. This is an incredible fantasy story. It really is. The world, has this incredible fantasy world, incredible, you just get lost in it. So it's awesome. There is a lot of fear in this story also, kind of like what's going to happen next? Is he going to get through this episode? Is he going to be able to move forward? And, he kind of just always waits for the next thing, but he somehow gets through it. It's amazing. He thinks fast on his feet. He's a real warrior. He taps into the knowledge and the gifts that he's learned in the past, just pushes through those fears. And it's just so awesome to watch him on this journey. So he does have this kind of new beginning going full circle with the world, this world opening up to him. You know, everything was taken away from him by his family being lost at a very young age. And all he wanted to do was have an opportunity to create the world that he wanted for himself. So he knew that this was a journey. He knew that he was always, you know, kind of this starting over, but he was focused on where he was going and he knew where he was headed. It was just that he had so many disadvantages along the way. He wasn't from a wealthy family. He wasn't handed these things. He scraped, he fought, he, you know, did what he had to do. Now, along this journey comes a female that he meets, and her name is Dina. And somehow intertwined throughout this story is this kind of young, heartfelt love. And Dina is, now they don't end up being a couple. They have this kind of relationship at one point where they kind of got stuck in the woods and they had to fight this big lizard thing. And I don't know, it was just, you know, kind of crazy. But you know what? There was a connection there. They were building this relationship with each other. And there was always this invisible string. And that is what the Lover's card shares with us, this kind of connection to somebody that is invisible. You know, it's like you just feel different. You're thinking about that person when they're not with you. You're looking for that person when they're not with you. So he was always looking to see if he could bump into her again. He was always looking to see where she was at with her life. And then through circumstances, their lives would come together for a short period of time and then they would separate again. So they really, truly are soulmates and separations in this book. And, you know, and it's kind of a sweetheart story, but, you know, it's, you can tell that the interest is there for both of them. So it was really sweet as far as this kind of young love. So I did enjoy that. And the Five of Cups, lots of disappointments along the way. You know, the sense of I have to walk away from things that are hurting me, no longer serving me, and I have to try to move forward and try to find happiness in my life. You know, he does have to move on multiple times in his journey, but he has very good friends. His friends that he really enjoys that are always by himself side. So along the way, even though he has lost everybody and everything, he has found people that have come into his life that do fill his cups with the Five of Cups. And so he's left some things behind and he's moved towards a couple of relationships, some male friendships at school that were very important to him. And, you know, just this incredible journey of this warrior. So when I was thinking about what deck really connected me to this book, The Name of the Wind. It was so, there were so many scenes that were kind of woodsy and some scenes that were cold feeling to me. And I love that the artists work in the Hush Tarot with this kind of sketchy feeling because I kind of felt that way throughout the book. Like I didn't know what was going to happen next. I didn't know what was around the corner. Like what was next on the journey. And I was like, whoa, this book is amazing. So did I invest time into 722 pages? Absolutely. Would I do it again? Absolutely. I really enjoyed this book. It was a lot of fun. I love the connection to this tarot deck. And I hope that you take a chance and pick it up and you enjoy this book also. I want to thank Spirit for this reading. This book that I read on my vacation is the WTF is Tarot. I read a lot of tarot books. I study tarot all the time. I have a huge tarot collection. This was a riot. This is a great book for someone that you don't know a lot about tarot. You want something that's kind of lighthearted. I read this in a night or so at my bed, you know, before I went to bed. Just a fun way to learn tarot or to kind of see tarot from a different perspective. So when I thought about what of my decks connected to this author who is Baraka Winter, I guess. And what connected to this author. I went with the Black Cat Tarot deck, and I'm going to share with you why. First of all, this deck is fun, it's charming, it's tarot, it's intense, it's got a sense of humor, and that is what this book is all about. This book is just a way to approach tarot from a sense of humor. So let's pull a couple of cards so I can share with you some of the things that I learned from reading the WTF is Tarot, for those of you that have never read tarot or don't know tarot. So let's just see. So this is the Black Cat Tarot, so charming. I have the Star. I have the Star. I have the Three of Pentacles. I have a Nine of Swords. Six of Cups. I have a Death. And I have a Ten of Swords. Beautiful. So I love that this author, it's a very personal book to her. And she shared with me her journey. And part of her journey was that she either had a problem with drugs or alcohol or one or the other. And she had to end that period of her life in order to move on. And part of that journey and part of a turning point in her life was tarot. It literally helped save her life. And I love that she shared that in the story, because my Death card in my Ten of Swords is that I have to stop something in order to move forward. Okay, I have to put something to an end. It's no longer serving me. It's done. It's buried. So she shared that with us. And then lo and behold, she opened up this world, which literally has made her a shining star. She is a published author. She has her own business, websites, a little shop, and she talks throughout the book about how tarot has influenced those things. So I love that she's kind of set this goal for herself. She started this new life. She walked away from relationships that maybe were connected to her past life, for things that weren't doing her well. And she moved towards a spiritual journey, and she took this star energy, and she's achieving her dreams today. I love this. And she was working hard. You know, people are looking up to her with the Three of Pentacles. Not only did she learn for herself, but now she's a teacher. Now she's sharing her knowledge, her experience with others. And in this format of this book, it was so simple. It was just the sense of, you know, here are the cards. These are my impressions. This is what my interpretations of them. And then she brought in these real life experiences with the Six of Cups, these nostalgic memories of her life, her personal journey, and how that card connected to her own personal journey. So you get a sense of application. You get a sense of, you know, that this is how tarot works in someone's life. This is how you use tarot, or this is how it applied in my life, this particular card. And she gives examples. And I love that, because it was the sense of, you know, you can just relate to her. Okay. Now, she has had an incredible journey with the Nine of Swords. Okay. She's had fears, she's had hurts, she's had painful relationships, and she shares all of that. She's very vulnerable in her book. But the thing that I love the most about her, and why I picked this deck to represent her, was that one, she's so consistent. I love this black cat in these images in this artist's the deck design, but I love the sense of humor in this Black Cat Tarot deck also, that it's just so charming. It's just so cute. It's like every single thing about this deck is so adorable. Like, you know, look at the little, you know, my little star and all the little details and all the, you know, it's just, you can just, and I'm a psychic who actually owns a black cat because we adopted it, not by choice, but I am a psychic that owns a black cat. So I'm kind of biased when it comes to black cats, but the deck is charming and the book is charming. And that's why I picked this deck to represent this book. So, but it was a great reference book. I would encourage anybody who's studying tarot to take a peek at it. It was a very easy read. It was a lot of fun for me. I loved how she shared her personal journey and how tarot has changed her life and how tarot has created a life for her. Her whole life has changed. Now she knows exactly who she is and what she's doing, all because of tarot. So absolutely gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. I want to thank Spirit for this reading. I want to thank you today for joining me in these 3 book and deck reviews, and I hope you enjoyed this. If you like this video, let me know. I will do more of them. Please hit the like, subscribe, ring the bell, comment below, and we'll talk again soon. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.